Hello friends and welcome back. I know I said I'd have the face cam for any additional videos from this game, but I just shoveled a foot and a half of snow and I'm in no condition to be seen by the public, but I do want to record a video for you today, and I've got a nice lovely cup of hot chocolate instead of coffee or tea. My special recipe for hot chocolate, or hot cocoa, is quite delightful if you don't like things that are too sweet. I don't add any sugar, but there's enough sugar in the milk and cream and whatever else that it is just rich and delightful. So I'm going to be enjoying that while you are hopefully enjoying me gaming. Where did we leave off? Huff, huff. What hill? Where are we going? Why are we doing this? I don't remember. Oh god, large leaping strides bring me back to the cusp of the hill in record time. With the afternoon sky already fading into an orange glow, evening is practically here. I have no concrete grasp of how long Baba's cafe has been closed since she cut and run, but there's one thing I know for certain, and that's that I don't want to keep the Linsdale patrons waiting any longer. Oh, right, we have to open the cafe, because it's the evening, and, what just happened? That's weird. Sorry if there's some cutting back and forth, but, it's funny, if I let slip that Baba's irresponsibleness is what put me into this mess in the first place, I'm actually excited. Rushing about, serving special blends, putting smiles on customers' faces, it was difficult at first, maybe, but I grew to love it. Positive vibes, Step. Maybe this will be a good summer after all. Yes, it would be nice if it was summer. I say that. It would be nice if it was summer and I lived near the water. I actually quite like the winter, which it is right now, but I don't like having to drive in it. With renewed energy, I begin to mentally roll up my sleeves. But just as I round the corner, an unpleasant sight makes my newly buoyed mood sink faster than a stone anchor. What the? Directly outside the cafe, pulled unceremoniously up onto the curb, is a garish red sports card. It's brand new, and clearly far too expensive to belong to any resident of Linsdale. Are you serious? What sort of self-centered idiot parks their car square in front of a shop entrance? Already ticked off, I watch as an elderly man with a cane struggles to shuffle through the gap in the pavement, grasping at the cafe wall for support. He gets his revenge as he passes by, though, flipping the bird to the car's tinted windows as he goes. Hey, you go, Grandpa. And if I had any doubts that this gaudy ride would spell trouble, they're blown away as soon as the driver steps outside. A tall blonde fop in sunglasses and a jean jacket slams the door behind himself, yawning loudly. Leaning back lazily onto the car roof, he slips his sunglasses up onto his hairline and clicks his tongue at the elderly man's back. I'm about to storm up to give him my piece of my mind when he pulls out his phone, latest model, it looks like, and begins snapping up landscape shots of the cafe. Ahem, may I help you? Sliding his free hand casually into his back pocket, he turns to flash me a smile. It's so not cute. Ah, are you the owner? I square my shoulders as much as humanly possible, arms folded crossly. Yes, I am. Name's Step, and I would appreciate you. I don't appreciate you blocking the door my customers use. Customers? He cockily raises his eyebrow and looks around at the now very empty street. He pulls down his sunglasses once or twice in a mocking motion. Huh, well, how's about that? I guess my prescription's wrong, because I don't see a single soul sniffing around. Looks like what you have here is a bona fide... Now, people are pronouncing this fide these days, but I always pronounced it bona fide. So, we're gonna go with bona fide. Bona fide dead spot. Dead spot? You better not be insulting my cafe. Another condescending smile slowly stretches across his face. He's clearly looking down on me and doesn't care to provide any kind of answer. He just continues on, ignoring my questions. Not an insult per se, as it so happens, this is exactly the sort of place I'm looking for. With a twinkle in his eye, he straightens up and spins his phone into both hands. His whole demeanor changes as he begins typing on the screen with lightning speed. Oh, I see. So what's your specialty here? Cafe Cubano? Chinese teas? Matcha? You do serve something other than salty tap water, I assume. Sure, there's a bottle of rancid milk in the fridge with your name on it. Yes, all of those things. We aren't some backwater cafe that only serves standard drip swill. Oui, so you run this place with someone else? My grandmother. She's not here right now. Uh-huh. And what's this place called? Are you freaking kidding me? Look at the goddamn sign, poster boy. I sigh, loudly and dramatically. Coffee Curiosities. His fingers pause their typing for back. I assume he was going to be snide. Right. Bravo. No, really, it's inspired, a little desperate, and only slightly nauseating. He stands up straight and takes one more large, gulping glance at the cafe's facade. Then he flips his phone and snaps a headshot of my startled face. It's a perfect blend of material for my blog, that is. Your blog? He gives me a look that is equal parts smug and pitying. It's perhaps the most punchable expression I've ever seen. You have no idea who I am, do you? I know you're gonna get cold clocked in the face if you don't move your card, jackass. No? Wait, but now that I get a really good look at him, he actually does look somewhat familiar. Here, a souvenir. Don't bend it now. It's premium embossed. With a wink, he slips a business card into my hand. Fancy gold script spells out cuisine blogger and the name MacLeod. Thanks. Guess I'll use it to run when I run out of toilet paper. It's too bad he's not saying these things out loud. They are very funny. I snap the card from his fingers, making sure to look thoroughly unimpressed as I do. His smarmy veneer cracks just a little at that. Charmed, I'm sure. Now then, let's hope your coffee wildly lives up to my expectations, shall we? I can feel my blood boiling. The way that smirk plays at the edge of his mouth, it's perfectly obvious what his expectations are. Though I still can't place his face, I've read about bloggers just like him. Vindictive types, traipsing around the country, targeting coffee shops with small customer bases, searching for the worst of the worst for their scathing reviews, like sharks feasting on krill. For a second time, I slide my gaze grimly over his red sports car, with its ostentatious wheels. Alright, so there's some sort of problem happening with the recording. Hopefully we can get through this without it completely exploding, but bear with me. I suppose when you're the scum on the surface of the industry, it doesn't matter if you destroy businesses wherever you go, as long as those clicks keep coming. Well, it's not going to drag Baba's Cafe through the mud on my watch. So, here I am, in the flesh, your only paying customer and all that. I drove 2 hours from the city to find this place. Aren't you going to let me in? I wouldn't. Like, I just wouldn't. I would just not. I would say no, because you have no respect for anyone. I'm not serving you. As a business owner, that would be my prerogative. I stride up to the door and start to unlock it, but inwardly, that boiling blood is starting to boil over. I'm in no mood to play nice. In fact, just for the audacity of coming here and trying to mess with a witch's business, I'm perfectly happy to play just a little dirty. With the help of some magic. There's another thought. Slipping my hand inconspicuously behind my back, I start to weave a spell in the air. I step towards him, all the while a sweet smile plastered on my face. Sure, I don't have a problem with that. You're welcome to try my coffees. Quickest way to get you off my property. But you might not want to step inside just yet, because... Oh, we get to make choices. Alright. I don't know why I wasn't expecting that. I thought this was going to be just a straight narrative, but we got to select our character's sex and pronouns, so do we want to distract with magic or prank with magic? I'm going to distract with magic. A seagull just stole your phone. What? He pivots on his heels to see a gigantic seabird that is now squatting on top of the roof of his car, phone in beak. I'm pleased to see that, after being summoned, it took the time to excrete on the car before it landed, too. Oh, that's beautiful. I thought this was going to be enchantment magic, and I don't truck with that. But conjuration, illusion, that's completely okay. It's a nice touch, if I do say so myself. Hey, Birdie, I'm going to need you to give me back my phone now. It's very expensive. It was a gift, so... Alright, just give it back, yeah? Deliciously flustered, MacLeod edges closer to the seagull, trying not to scare it back into the skies with the phone in tow. Please? The seagull blinks at him with bored indifference. So, just give it back to... me. He lunges toward the seabird like a complete idiot. Finally compelled to move, the bird immediately drops the phone and rockets itself up into the air. And in the process, its clawed, webbed feet tear through the fragile paint of the metal on the car's roof, leaving a permanent, deep scar on the surface. Oops. MacLeod rushes forward and falls upon the car in misery, like a man whose soul has been crushed. Bianca, my darling! No! Oh God, Father is going to kill me. Bring. With timing so impeccable, I'm almost convinced I'd somehow cast a second spell. MacLeod's phone explosively starts to ring. Upon seeing the caller ID, the blood drains from his face. Beep. Ah, Father, it's good to hear from you. No, I'm fine. You're back from Hawaii? Ah, well, yeah, of course I can. But, Father, about the car you bought me. Well, see, it's a funny story. Having completely forgotten me, MacLeod woefully shuffles away. out of earshot to take the phone call. That wasn't my fault, right? No, but would be my answer. Nah, accident, Step, not vandalism, just an accident. Yep, nothing to worry about. And so, mostly smug, yet just ever so slightly regretting my influence on this turn of events, I'd take the opportunity to back away through the cafe door, swinging the sign to "Open" along the way. Nice slow jazz. The minutes, and then tens of minutes, painfully tick by. Not a single potential customer steps inside or even hazards a peek through the windows. I start by leaning over the counter, head in palms, alternating between watching the clock hands and the bell above the door. But I quickly get bored, and my twitchy hands tap the counter, searching for something to do. Mikhail's business card is nearby, exactly where I'd thrown it earlier, so I retrieve it and twirl it around absent-mindedly. Let's find out how famous this guy really is. Whoa, seriously? A quick phone search pulls up hundreds of results. Blog posts with hits into the tens of thousands, sponsorship ties on the prominent worldwide cafe chain Moonbucks, a hefty follower base on social media, and even a narcissistic modeling portfolio of monochrome shirtless photographs. Just great, as if I don't have enough problems right now. Ugh, what's with these pictures? He's dripping wet in half of them. Did somebody turn on a hose or something? So stupid. Now more irked than ever, I chuck my phone aside and go back to watching the clock. All this inactivity is doing nothing except stiffening my muscles and making me anxious. 30 minutes and not a whiff of anyone, not even one of the regulars. This can't be right. I recall my previous summers here, when there were always non-magics and witch folk around, mingling, joking, and shooting friendly banter back and forth with Baba. Back then, her cafe had never seemed wanting for patrons. Each day, a steady stream of satisfied customers would come and go at an even pace. It had never been busy, but it was comfortable. I don't know, that sounds magical to me. Maybe she was an enchantress. This cocoa's fantabulous. If anyone would like my recipe for hot cocoa, I might just do a vlog video about it. Yeah, if so, I will link it in this video when it happens. Sure, it's unlikely that there'd be a lot of witch folk making the trip right now. No doubt they're all up in that mountaintop with Baba, picking mugwort and betting on drunken duels. But for there to be no non-magics around either? I glance back at the clock, disappointed by what I see. It's far too late now to be trying to pluck customers off the street, but if I root around, there may be someone of use laying around somewhere. I pluck customers off the street? So, determined to be productive in some capacity, I trawl through some of the lower kitchen cupboards, hoping to find something to use to attract new customers in the morning. Sensing activity, Hannibal slinks into the kitchen and curls around my leg. With a pointed meow, she leads me to a hatch under the rug on the floor, below one of the open cupboards. Nice. Good job, Hannibal. She purrs silkily and continues to circle around as I rummage through the contents of the hatchbox. There isn't much of use, but I do stumble on an old signboard for advertising and some pastel chalk sticks. This is perfect. If I spruce it up a little, it'll do for a mini menu at the end of the street. Hannibal pokes her little head beneath my arm, demanding scritches for her hard work. I'm so distracted, I fail to hear the bell chiming at the door. Good girl, who's going to get some fishy wishies tonight? That's right, you are. Excuse me? Ow! Just a second, I'll be right with you. Clutching the bruised crown of my head that just exchanged blows with the cupboard door, I totter embarrassingly back to my feet and heave myself over the counter. A radiant sigh greets me. Oh, a radiant sight. Oh, hello. Was she the one from... Yeah, I think she was the one from before. I also suspect that she's the mermaid, seeing how she's got, like, a fish tail and pearls, but, I guess we'll find out. Fishy wishies? Sorry, I was talking to the cat. Oh, I remember you. Her eyes visibly sparkle, and her cheeks pinken. You do? Of course, the lady from the beach, right? I'm so sorry again for bumping into you back there. Oh, no, that's quite all right. So that's what they meant. Somehow she looks kind of sad. Did I say something wrong? An awkward silence settles over us. As it stretches on, she starts to comb a finger nervously through a loose curl of hair. Well, this is a fine way to start the evening, by making my only customer feel uncomfortable. Applying my kindest, most sincere smile, I gesture towards one of the seats at the counter. I can at least salvage the situation by acting professional now. Where are my manners? You're here to order, right? What can I get you? They have a menu around here somewhere. As I rummage around behind the counter, though her body language is shy, the woman's striking, sandy eyes watch me intently. I can't help but feel a little nervous. Ah, here it is. I slide the menu across the counter, a lavish, high-end tablet, listing all our served items, including coffee blends, black, white, and green teas, small meals, and desserts. I like that they didn't include red teas. I'm not a fan of rooibos. But this tablet, much like the cafe itself, has a mystical secret up its sleeve. A coffee cup-shaped tab on the screen, enchanted to be invisible to non-magical customers, conceals a hidden second menu, one that displays some of Baba's oldest potions and other recipes designed for more magical patrons. I admit it, I was surprised earlier to find such a thing myself. A paper menu was all that had existed before. But the tablet looks brand new and screams impulse purchase, which unfortunately also happens to be one of Baba's many bad habits. The woman graciously takes the tablet from me, tucking a periwinkle curl behind one of her stylish earrings. She begins scrolling intuitively through the menu. How does one scroll intuitively, I would like to know. She's so elegant and glamorous, and her eyelashes have this beautiful, dewy quality to them. Like black waves breaking on the beach at night. I knew it! So strong was that association, I was curiously struck by a sense of familiarity, but then... You have nothing new on the menu, I take it? Whenever I see an exclamation mark like that, I think of the Metal Gear Solid noise, the vring. Sorry, You could say I'm somewhat of a regular here. I know this place and its owner very well. Oh, then I take it you also know my grandmother is out of town right now. I do, but it's no trouble at all. I didn't come here today to see her. She tilts her head shyly. It's a devastating move, but I don't think she's doing it on purpose. Is she enjoying her vacation? Oh, yeah, I'm sure she's having a whale of a time. She pulls stunts like this far too often. I'm half convinced she drags me back here to rope me into running the place for a few weeks. The woman shuffles somewhat bashfully in her seat, lowering her eyes to her lap. Well, if it brought you back to Linsdale, then I'm glad she did. Just think of this as a salacious encounter. She said that out loud? Did she mean to say serendipitous? Ah, I understand. With a gentle smile, she clears her throat and taps the screen with her nail. The highlighted drink is the salty kelp latte, a popular sea-based item from the secret menu. Interesting. This one, if I may, it's my usual order. Ring. Sure thing. It'll be just a moment. I flash her a knowing smile before stepping over to the kitchen area to prepare her order. As I lay my hands on a glass bottle of kelp leaves, a spark of inspiration hits me. Do not enchant this girl. And so I prepare the drink normally, right? Nah, I may be itching to use some magic, but there's no need to show off. She might not appreciate her latte floating all over the shop. So instead, I get to work quietly and efficiently at the kitchen counter, preserving the energy I would have spent using magic. First, using the mortar and pestle, I grind the kelp blades into algae powder and lightly dust with sugar. Then I slide a jug of fresh milk under the coffee machine's steaming wand. It soon fluffs up deliciously with tiny microbubbles. Perfect. This does not sound appetizing to me. Alright, maybe a little flourish couldn't hurt. I glide across the floor, spinning a cup and saucer into the woman's waiting hands. My deft fingers pour the powder into the basin of the cup, with a dash of seawater on top. Lastly, raising the milk jug at a high angle, I let it pour. It cascades down into the cup like a silken waterfall, warming all it touches. A twirl of a spoon and the drink is made. The woman's eyes light up, and she takes a big, delighted sniff of the sweet and salty steam rising up to tickle her nose. What a heavenly smell. And now for the finishing touch. Could you tell me your name? She looks agitated, as if she has particular trouble with this squishing. It's, Kiana. Alright, sit tight, Kiana. It's Kia, you moron. I reach across the counter for a thin, nozzled bottle filled with caramel, and in small, delicate letters, write her name across the milk foam. Caramel on a seaweed latte seems very odd. And there we have it. Bon appetit. As she puts the drink to her lips, a warm steam brings a soft flush to her cheeks. A small, contented sigh escapes her as she returns the cup to the saucer. So, my salty kelp latte, does it meet a mermaid's approval? Yes. Yes, it's gumptious. Gumptious. Glad to hear it. But I'm pretty sure you mean scrumptious. Oh, my goodness, this is embarrassing. Human language is still so, hard. Right, I've been struggling so much, but I still mess up all the time. Her whole face breaks out a fierce flush. The quiet elegance I'd seen in her earlier has completely peeled away. Nothing could have prepared me for this. It's like her demeanor has done a complete 180. I thought she was demure, but I guess she's just shy about making mistakes in front of a human. Either way, it's absolutely adorable. Don't apologize, it's cute. The way you mix up your words, it reminds me of... Put it together. No way! Kia? And so I've been visiting the cafe ever since my bridling ended. I suppose I look quite different now, don't I? That's quite an understatement. I didn't recognize you at all. An hour later, Kia and I are sitting together, lattes in hand, at the counter. We've been talking so animatedly, I barely think either of us has paused for a breath. By now, I recognize her familiar shyness and her adorable mannerisms, but I have to admit, seeing her adult human form for the first time is still throwing me for a loop. Perfectly understandable when I consider she still looked like a child 3 years ago. The changes in her face, in particular, are profound, but not unexpected. After all, I know very well that mer-people experience growth very differently from humans. A mer-person's childhood, their bridling period, would last from the time they're hatched until they reach a normal age of human adolescence. Throughout the bridling, mer-children would barely appear to age at all, maintaining a childlike appearance for years and years. And then, at the bridling's end, what awaited them was a highly accelerated transformation into an adult body, and the ability to adopt a human form. After I met Kia, because we couldn't really communicate at first, I remember wanting to learn more about her kind. I found out about the bridling and the change through one of Baba's old books. As I also recall, why is the music so soft all of a sudden? Oh, I turned down my headphones, that's the problem. Sorry. As I also recall, I had to climb up her bookcase like a monkey to get it and slipped on the way down. Kia cried for hours when I turned up to the beach covered in bruises. So, when did your bridling end? When I was about 17, it was a year and 3 months after you left. Not that I was counting. When she catches me smiling, Kia turns away and scrambles for her drink. It's the cutest thing. But I'm suddenly reminded of something else. Wait, earlier, did you say your name was Kiana? Well, after you didn't seem to recognize me at the beach, I was a little embarrassed. She sighs heavily, resting her hand over her heart. And even though I came to the cafe just to see you again, I still couldn't bring myself to say anything. Oh, but Kiana is the land name I chose for myself, so I wasn't exactly lying to you. I just had trouble pronouncing it when we were children. I do use it around Linsdale. My family in the ocean still use my sea name, of course. I probably shouldn't pry into that. Mermaid sea names are private, intimate things, after all. I guess I should be careful not to call her Kia too much around town, though, even. Why? There was that niggling question out of the way. I looped the conversation back around to what really matters. So, how was it? Your change, I mean. Oh, it was, better than I expected. The growing pains, were bad for a while, but compared to the others who experienced it at the same time, my change was relatively quick. She takes the last few sips of her latte, then lays the empty cup down and fingers it pensively. I'm just happy that my outside finally matches who I am inside. When we used to play on the beach together, we couldn't go far because, well... I chuckle as I head back around the kitchen counter to wash our cups and saucers. No legs? Right. Oh, apparently I can go back and forward. Nice. You were growing up, and in my mind, I was growing up with you, but physically for me, nothing was changing, and every year it felt like you were getting farther and farther away, and there was nothing I could do about it. We used to draw so many shapes in the sand, all the things I wanted to do, all those places I wanted to visit, but because of me, we couldn't do any of it. Her eyes glaze over. She suddenly looks quite dejected. Not wanting to watch her beat herself up, I take her hand in mine. But we can now, right? Exactly. No more hiding in the rock pools or covering up her fins with a blanket I brought from the cafe. We can stray as far from the beach as we like now. Go anywhere we want. Now that you have your human form, the world is your oyster. You just let me know what you want to do, and we'll go do it. It works like a charm. Kiana's sandy eyes light up, and she leans across the counter, brimming with excitement. Okay. Oh, but with your grandmother gone, you'll be working here full-time, won't you? Then, until we can do something, I'll just stop by every day to see you. I shrug my shoulders, gesturing toward the empty room in an exaggerated way. Thanks. I'd appreciate the company in more ways than one. As you can see, this place isn't exactly hopping. Without a regular or two, quite honestly, I might struggle to make ends meet this summer. And based on today, I'll take just about any customer I can get. Anyone but that vain fop, anyhow. The more I remember his smug face, the crabbier I get. It's at that point when I realize that I'm not so much drying the cups as grinding the tea towel into them that... Jingle, jingle. The bell on the door rings for a second time. Welcome, just take a seat, and I'll be with you straight. Speak of the devil. MacLeod strides inside, looking the interior over with both hands shoved into his jean pockets with a slightly furrowed brow. He's looking decidedly less cool and collected than this afternoon, though it's obvious he's trying his best to mask it. Nice place you have here. Its drafty cracks in the walls are a particularly nice feature. Ugh, he is not cute. Not at all. My jaw joints creak like unoiled metal as I force a smile. Linsdale's tourism prides itself on the town's invigorating beachside breeze. Why deprive our customers just because they're indoors? Cute. Very cute. Sensing Kiana's discomfort, I gesture to the counter seat with an audible huff. Well, sit down if you're here to order. You are here to order? MacLeod slides into a seat directly beside Kiana. He beams obnoxiously as he pulls out his phone. Of course, and I don't need a menu. Just serve me your best attempts at coffee. You going to pay for it? Please, of course I will. I'm not trying to put you out of business. Though I retreat to the back of the kitchen to begin scooping and grinding coffee beans, I keep one watchful eye on MacLeod at all times. Thankfully, though, his gaze is still roaming all over the interior. He isn't trying to snap pictures. But it's obvious he's searching for something, a juicy tidbit, a draw for his story, and so after his eyes complete their rounds of the decor, they naturally come to fall on his neighbor. Are you a regular here? Yes, I come here most every week. His eyes widen in genuine surprise. Really? What's your usual order? If it's that good, maybe I should have ordered that too. She flutters her eyes to me, begging for assistance, but I'm way ahead of her. I make the 3 strides back to the counter in a heartbeat and step in. She's a special customer. Her order's not on the menu, and it's a, shall we say, an acquired local taste. I doubt you'd like it. Gotta admit, though, I'm sorely tempted to put seawater in his coffee, just for the heck of it. I don't know if he did that on purpose, or, sorry, if they... God, it's my character and I can't get the they right. Damn you, 9th grade grammar class. I don't know if they did that on purpose, but that's exactly the wrong thing to say to get a blogger to back off. Must resist. Well, that's a shame. You'll have to let me in on the secret of that drink sometime, Miss... Ever sweet and polite, Kiana holds out her hand to introduce herself. Kiana. Just Kiana is fine, and, I'm afraid I don't know much about the recipe, or coffee for that matter. Just as I become concerned that MacLeod might be about to defile Kiana's hand with a kiss, another one of those pretentious business cards appears in his hand, and he drops it into hers. Enchanté, I'm MacLeod, and I just happen to be an expert on coffee. I'm a cafe blogger. Oh, cuisine? It's pronounced cuisine, Kiana. It means food. I turn to MacLeod and scramble for a cover-up. She's not from around here. But her accent... He doesn't seem convinced at all, but thankfully, Kiana's pure-hearted curiosity comes to the rescue. You write about food? Then you're here to write about cafe curiosities. Yes, that's my intention. No doubt you've heard of my... But Kiana's already stopped listening. Step, this is perfect. Now we won't have to worry about finding customers. Once he tastes your coffee, he's sure to love it. And if he writes something good, people will come from all over Linsdale. Kiana, my sweet summer child, your innocence is wasted on him. He's not that kind of blogger. As I slowly churn the coffee grinder, I give MacLeod a disapproving side-eye, and he shifts in his seat. The twitchy guy sitting beside you only visits coffee shops he expects to be bad. His blog is just a collection of hatchet jobs, designed to be shocking and tank any business he writes about. He's only here because he thinks my coffee is going to taste so undeniably terrible, it'll make for a juicy article. With one last yank, I grind the last of the coffee beans into dust. Or have I missed anything out? MacLeod practically rolls his eyes into the next century. Hey now, you make it sound like I'm the enemy here. Ask my darling readers and they'll tell you the only two things I'm guilty of in this business are being criminally handsome and honest. And the coffee they serve at all those other cafes just happen to be honestly awful. So just think of it this way. This is your perfectly fair chance to impress me. Not that you will. I'm savored all the finest blends this world has to offer. But you're welcome to try. It seemed to take Kiana a few moments to process all this information. I guess she still isn't all too knowledgeable about the side of human society yet. But once it does click into place, she looks crushed. But how could you do something like that to hardworking people? That's so despicable. And I guess that one was supposed to be despicable? Why would she say? Despectacle. I'm happy to see she has my back, but Kiana's just wasting her breath. Besides, this coffee critic just unwittingly challenged a witch. I'm not the one who's about to be eaten alive. It's alright, Kiana. He has the right to do whatever he likes, and so do I. All I have to do is prove him wrong. So, go ahead. With a single finger, I slide a cup across the counter in one fluid motion. It stops just shy of MacLeod's hand, taunting him like a gauntlet being laid down in declaration of war. It emits a powerful, bitter aroma, so tantalizing that it clings to the air and doesn't let go. A mouth-watering aroma no person could resist. The secret house blend, with a pinch of something special mixed in. I sneak Kiana a mischievous wink, and she understands my meaning implicitly. Drink up, you won't be disappointed. What's the matter? You should drink it before it gets cold. I won't let you use the excuse that it was bad simply because you ruined its flavor by letting it sit too long. Brimming with devilry, I decided to push him just a little harder. As the expert here, you wouldn't make that mistake, would you? Watching him squirm and tug at the collar of his jacket, I realize I'm enjoying myself far too much. Still, I don't take my eyes off him. I stare him down until he finally gives in, picks up the cup, puts the cups to his lips, and... all that bravado, and it's mediocre after all. But he takes another sip. Exactly, it's completely... and another. Completely... and another, and another, and another. He drinks and drinks until the veneer rips away, and he finally throws his head back, shamelessly chugging the hot liquid until he has lapped up every drop, and the bottom of the cup is all that remains. Did that really have to be written quite that way? Ha! Hunching over, he slams the cup down on the counter and stares at it in dumb disbelief. He's shaken and a little breathless, and there's something clouded about his expression. Delicious. Yay. It's 9 p.m. Closing time draws near on this, my first day of running the cafe. As I finish scribbling down orders onto a pad of receipt paper, I rip the page out and hand it over. So, 3 secret blends, 1 small and 2 grandes. There'll be 7 gold. He's been scowling like this ever since he finished his first cup. Excuse me. Truthfully, he looks more mystified than anything else. After the first cup, he'd sat shell-shocked for several minutes, then sprung up and demanded 2 more of the same drink in quick succession. When they were ready, Kiana and I huddled together, watching him discreetly over the tops of our own lattes. He never took more than 1 small sip at a time, crossing his arms and quietly ruminating over the taste before going back for another sip. We lost count of how many times he furrowed his brow, how many pictures he took, and how many notes he typed into his phone. After half an hour, I thought he'd finally admitted defeat, but... Mikhail, 7 gold? Right now, Mikhail is clutching onto his gold, pouting comically. He looks like a child who doesn't want to give up his favorite marvels unless his parent agrees to trade him a cookie. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I almost feel sorry for him. No matter how hard he racks his brain, he's never going to figure out the secret. Wait, why do I feel more guilty for cheating at coffee than I did wrecking his car? What did you do? Oh, right, yeah. Here. Thanks. Here's your change. I don't get it. How? Tell me how. It's all finally too much for his pride, and he explodes, slamming his hand down on the counter. How's your coffee that good? This place has terrible reviews everywhere. It's a dead spot online. There's no way the coffee could be this good. Wait, terrible reviews? When he sees that I have no intention of answering him, Mikhail clasps his head, defeated, and sighs. He's still pouting like a little kid. Tomorrow. I'll be back tomorrow to make absolutely sure it wasn't a fluke. I'm not writing my review until I know you're not cheating, so bring your A game. Looking forward to it. Ugh. He concedes and stomps away to gather up his phone, and as he moves out of earshot, a very apologetic-looking Kiana takes his place. She leans in and whispers in my ear. Is he going to be all right? He looks kind of upset. He'll get over it, and I have a feeling he might turn out to be quite useful. As I'd done for Mikhail, I write out her receipt and pass it on. Here you go. How were the lattes? Not salty enough? She puts her hand to her face, cheeks pink with contentedness. Not at all. They were perfect, even more so than your grandmother's. Your kelp lattes leave me feeling completely refreshed. Being out of the sea for so long sure must be tough, huh? Anytime you need a pick-me-up, you know where I am. Thank you. Just as Mikhail is making his way back, Kiana puts her hand into her purse, fishing around for gold. She's fumbling a little, like she's having trouble. Ah, I forgot. Maybe she doesn't even know how human currency works yet. But before I can cover her, Mikhail steps forward, trying to act chivalrous. No need to be flustered. I've got more than enough for both of us. Oh, it's fine, I think. Here, is this enough? She tips out the entire contents of her purse onto the table, a whopping, shiny mountain of gold. Individual coins spill off the counter onto the floor. What the? Kiana, it was 8 gold, not 800. Oh. Well, that's okay. I have so much anyway. Just take it. Okay. She turns to Mikhail with the sweetest innocent smile. Would you like me to pay for yours too, Mr. Mikhail? No, it's... Mumbling something about how he had already paid, Mikhail picks his jaw up off the ground and quickly sees himself out. Did I say something wrong? No, you didn't. Don't worry about him. Oops, didn't mean to click on that. I paused, thinking back to what MacLeod had let slip earlier. Kiana, this cafe, does it have a bad reputation in Linsdale? Late into the night, I'm staring absent-mindedly into Baba's crystal ball with my head on the table, a fuzzy blanket around my shoulders, and Hannibal in my lap. Baba's rabbit-shaped letter is still hopping around on the desk, deftly dodging all of Hannibal's impish paw swipes. All around us, the dustpan and broom go about their nighttime cleaning. Sweep, sweep. Sweep, sweep, sweep. I still can't stop thinking about it. Terrible reviews, that's what he said. Kiana didn't seem to know anything about it, but then, again, I doubt she'd pay much attention to something like that. No reason not to just find out myself. Once and for all, I slipped my phone from my pocket, punched in a few keywords, and hit enter. Sure enough, it turns up a dozen results, none of them good. About this, at least, it turns out MacLeod hadn't been exaggerating after all. Dismal star ratings, mentions of crummy decor, photographic evidence of bad service. There's even one that looks like a secret shot taken from under somebody's armpit. No way, Baba's just plain asleep in this one, at the counter, just not even trying to hide it. All of the public reviews, at least, seem to have been written from the point of view of an outsider, but that doesn't comfort me much. It only means that the Linsdale residents still care enough about Baba as a friend to not out her online. And let me guess, all these ratings go back, 3 years. Not so subtly back to the end of my last summer in Linsdale. Suddenly, extremely irked all over again, I grab a pillow and hurl it in the direction of the bookcase. Several old ledgers come tumbling down and clatter to the ground. Honestly, Baba, you're a powerful witch. If you didn't want to run a cafe in the first place, why didn't you just do literally anything else? This is exactly why Dad's always worried about you. After screaming out some of my frustration into the void, I haul myself over to the tatty pile of books and start gathering them up. Hannibal trots near, stepping all over the ledgers, then curls up on them for a snooze. She's about as helpful as a sixth toe. Alright, I don't know how much further this is going to go on before we rest for the night, but my voice is getting strained and we're about an hour in, so I'm thinking we're gonna call it here for the evening. Let's save the game. And thank you for joining me. I don't know whether we'll have face cam or not. I'm still having trouble setting up my green screen, and I really don't want to have the little box in the corner anymore. I would much prefer to be just a floating head. So if I can figure that out, I'll have face cam. If not, we can continue on like this, but either way, if you've enjoyed this, please give it a thumbs up, give it a like, and subscribe to the channel, and share it with other people you think might be interested. If you have any notes on my voice acting, I'd love to hear about that too. And again, if you'd like my hot cocoa recipe, let me know, and I might just make it a vlog post. Thanks for joining me here today, and I'll see you again tomorrow for more of A Pinch of Magic.